No, cancel the meeting. Never mind. I'm just playing. Come on. I just need to calm my.
Whitney's like, I just want to hang out.
We are. We're gonna. We always do.
I think I mean, she was like, I want to hang out,
Mm-hmm.
not
Hang
live.
out, hang out. Mm-hmm. That happens soon. Or then one things, then one things. But how's everyone doing? This is Zooming in Comfort. We haven't been here for quite a while because everybody is busy. Everyone. Ever since, pandemic is done, we got back into our jobs. We started going outside again. Then we started getting partial social lives again and getting more busy and changing and there's a lot that's been happening with the bunch here. Lots of things. Angelique, like I said, you are busy and booming this year when it comes to work and everything else.
I don't know if I'm busy and booming. I'm just
Well,
busy this weekend.
well,
And
I think you've been
gonna
busy
be
and booming.
busy this I'm gonna be busy this summer, but for the last little while I've been pretty uh low key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the move, by the way? I know it was a while ago, but how'd that
Oh
go?
yeah, I moved in like end of February. That went
Mm-hmm.
well, so I live with my folks again now. And, there were some feelings around that, being an adult and moving back home with my parents and things like such as, but I like them, which is good. And they're cool housemates. So, and my mom loves to cook, which is great for me.
You don't have to. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
actually
cook. I cook rarely. I can cook. I just don't like
of
to.
course.
I just don't like to. But yeah, like I've been just working, resting, and trying to be social in person, do like in person social things,
Mm, okay.
which has been interesting. It's been an interesting journey, experiences, and things like that.
Mm. Envy is driving. I'm still jealous. You driving on the side of the street. I could never drive on. I would crash. I would crash. Guaranteed. I'd be like, "Ah."
So you've never driven in Sweden?
No,
Why?
I drive. No, I do drive. I have my license for the States, but I don't have my license for Sweden yet.
But why?
How long have you been in Sweden and you don't have your license for Sweden?
That is not the issue right now.
Sorry.
It's not about me.
It's not about me. No. No, I've been here like almost 20 years. Well, because like at first I started and then it wasn't really, it didn't seem like it was a pressing need and the transportation was good anyway. So I'm like,
I can't talk.
huh?
I, I can't talk. I left it very late. Most people my age drive. So it took me a very long time to even get a license. At least you have a license.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm I don't drive. I have a license. I got my license when I was like 17, 16, 17, and then um I had to take like another test when we moved to Toronto because the different systems from province to province. Uh, and then once I had my full license, I was just kind of like, okay, done. But I don't like driving, and I didn't have to have a car because the transit here is pretty good, and so I've just I've always lived in a city that had really good public transportation, so I don't drive, but I have the license. So that's why. So I'm not getting on you for not driving, Jermaine. I was just like, but why don't you
I
have
know.
that? Just you know,
Well,
switch
also
over to.
because I have to learn to do a manual, and that
Oh,
was a thing too. I had to learn to do a manual.
that's like a requirement in Sweden.
Well, no, but most cars are manual.
Oh, okay.
So that was the big thing, having to learn a manual stick, a manual thingy.
Transmission.
And So I was like, okay, And so I mean, now I'm practicing, actually, I should say. In fact, I have a lesson on Monday.
Oh, that's good.
So I have actually another lesson on Monday. I had my first
How do you-
lesson with this really great instructor. He's very good. And I already gave him jokes. He's like, you seem to like that signal. I was like, what?
Is that
What?
bad?
Well, I don't know, because he's watching and think, I guess because I'm holding the steering wheel and he sees these two fingers are like right near the signal and they're just like drifting there. And he just looks and laughs. He's like, you're just ready to turn, aren't you? Ready, left, right. I was like, yo. And then and then he had me pull over and we were talking about little things that I need to check on and make sure that I visibly do certain things. And I said, okay. And he talked about the signal thing again. So now I'm pulling out of the spot and my mind is now like signal, signal. And I pull out, forget the signal. He goes, now, okay, you were exiting. You should have signaled then. And I was like, stop
You
getting me
made me
nervous.
self-conscious.
He sure did. But he's good. He was, he's very he understands, and he's like, but you drive fine. He said, you're comfortable behind the wheel. Just the point of you knowing about, learning how to do the manual and blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Mel is having a problem getting in.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why she needed a password. That's just odd.
Who did you say?
Mo.
Mo. I wasn't sure if you said Mo or Mel.
I said Mel because I was looking at her thingy.
Oh, okay.
I did say Mel.
Mm.
But so I'm my next lesson is Monday.
Which side of the road did they drive on in Sweden?
Oh no.
The right side.
Oh no.
Okay, so the same as in the
That's a
States.
great
Same as the same as in the States, yeah.
Okay. So really the only difference for you is manual instead of automatic?
Yeah.
But could
That's
you
it.
not just get an automatic car over there?
We have a stick shift. He's not going to get a manual because he never drives manual. He always has a stick shift. So
You mean he's
You
not
mean
husband.
automatic?
manual
Huh?
is stick shift.
Manual
Yeah.
is the station.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Automatic manual. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I don't know why I assumed, because I know in the UK most people drive manual, although there are lots of automatic cars on the road.
Mm-hmm.
My dad drives an automatic, my sister drives an automatic, although they both have manual licenses, so they can drive both. But
There's a license for manual?
yes, so if you in the UK, if you pass your tests only on an automatic,
Right.
you are not legally allowed to drive a manual car.
Right.
Whereas if you pass your test on a manual, you can drive both. They consider that to
Same
be
here.
a full license. So if you only drive automatic, you don't have a full license.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a full license fee?
Yes. So
Oh,
that's
girl.
why I learned on manual, because I just knew that if anything were to happen and then there was an emergency and I had to drive a car that's not my own, I can drive both. Whereas if I only passed my test on an automatic and I had to drive a manual car in an emergency, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, you wouldn't be legally allowed, but you also
No.
physically wouldn't.
Well, no, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't know how to do
Install the
it.
car and
Yeah.
you wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
That's why I was
That's a
asking. I was like,
fascinating rule. Never heard of
so I
that.
assumed, because I know in Europe, in a lot of European countries, they drive on the other side of the road, like in the States, and a lot of them drive automatic rather than manual. So I assumed that Sweden would be the same, but I didn't realize that most of them drive manual still.
Oh yeah. They still drive. They a lot. They still drive manual.
Oh, because I know like
And
in Germany, they all drive automatic and on the other side of the road.
mhm.
So, I mean, so you should move to Germany. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Just
She
have
needs.
two cars.
Easy.
Yeah.
Mm,
I
mm.
can't afford one, but you should have two.
I can't afford the one I got.
No. So, I'm just like, please. I need to pass the test first. So that's what I'm doing now. And I'm taking like, short tests and, exercises and pre-exams and practice exams. Cause it's all timed. I hate
Is it?
timed. Yeah, ours are timed.
What
do you mean
the
it's
actual driving?
We
or
have
the driving?
no
or
the written test.
Oh, okay.
the written test.
The written test is timed,
Right.
which is sucks.
Is
But
it actually written or is it like done on a computer?
But on a computer, and it's multiple choice. It's 70 questions.
Oh, that's like the UK one then.
I think they could bunch of 10 of them or 7 of them don't even count.
Okay.
But you have to answer all of them anyway.
Yeah.
And I can't remember how many you can get wrong.
What do you mean some of them don't count?
Yeah, some of them don't count. It's like they just kind of, so it's not, they don't count all 70 questions. It's like they count, I think it's like, I don't know if they're just like random questions they throw in there just in case. Oh, they got this right, we'll add that. I don't know what.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? You're wasting my time then. Now you're wasting my time. If they don't count, why are you giving me this? You're giving me 50 minutes with a very mean lady sitting there. No, she's not mean, but she's very strict and very stern because I'm sure there have been issues with people there, coming in there trying to cheat. So, so we'll see. If I get, I did get through that. Once I get through that, then I just have to deal with the driving, which I hope to be done with before or by the end of summer because there's a waiting list.
Is there a time frame between when you pass the written test and when you have to do the practical test?
I think it's 4 months. We only have 4 months.
Really?
Yep.
Maximum?
Mm-hmm.
So when I did my theory, I think I let my theory expire twice. So I had to do it multiple times before I could do my... But
by the last time you were getting 100% every time.
So
I'm not trying to do that.
I think when I can't remember the rules exactly, but I think after you passed your theory here, you have up to 2 years to do your practical, I think. So yeah, I let 2 years pass and I still hadn't done
I would have been up on that bad boy in a minute. I would have been like, thank God it's
I had to do
done.
it again. And then I think I had, when I started having my practical driving lessons, I think I had maybe 5 months left before my theory was due to expire.
Girl.
So I had to pass my practical before my theory expired. Otherwise, I would have had to start the whole process.
Oh, never. Oh, girl, stop. You here. Stop making that face. You're here. Hi.
Why are you making that face?
Why are you making that face?
Where have you been?
What you looking at?
Why did you not?
Are you looking at Carl? Are you surprised that Carl is on the screen? Wave Carl. We can't hear you.
We can see you. We cannot hear you.
Muted, Carl.
This whole time.
You didn't know.
We're talking to you. And she's just like,
we know each other out here. It's you that popped in.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you, baby.
We can't hear you.
But we see your surprise. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Oh man, that's too funny. She's just sitting there like,
yeah. That's why I was like, what's wrong with your face? Oh my goodness, we miss you.
Because you look right at the camera too, and you're like, wait, you can see me? It's
you
like
fanning yourself, baby. What's wrong? What's up?
She's laughing so hard, she's crying.
Didn't realize you was all exposed like that, huh? No, you did not.
Good thing you were dressed. So while
oh yeah, good thing you were dressed. Yeah, that would have been a special moment. You would have been like, turn it off. Turn it off. See, you need to put your sound on. Yeah, sound. We need sound. We still need sound. You no sound? Then you need to start writing.
Okay, while Mo figures out her sound, I just wanted to say about the driving thing, because I feel like we're going to stop talking about this in a second. Ontario has like a graduated license thing. So you do the written test, which is, and if you get the written test, then you have a G1. And the G1 is just a learner's permit that allows you to drive with another driver who has had their license for 5 years or more. But you can't get on the highway. So you can only drive, I think, you can only drive on side streets, but you have to have another driver with you. That's the G1. That's the learner's permit.
Okay.
Then I think you have to wait a certain amount of time before you can take the driving test. But I may be wrong about that. And then you take the driving test, but the driving test you get the G2, that driving test is again only city streets. And that's the one that's like parallel parking, reversing, driving, changing lanes, all of that stuff, but you stay on city streets. And if you pass that, you have a G2. And with the G2 license, you can drive by yourself in the car on city streets, or you can, and you can drive on the highway with another driver who's had their license for, it's either that or you can drive anywhere, but like your alcohol limit is like 0.0000000. Like you can't blow anything above a 0.000. Then you have to take a highway test, and you have a maximum of 5 years from when you get your G2 to take the full highway test. And then if you pass that, then you have a G. Then you're a G, and you have a G license, and that's the full license.
Sorry, it's the way you said it. You're a G.
That's what I'm trying.
You're a G.
I was waiting for someone to laugh or something. Now just a G. Okay, never mind. So yeah, so then you have your full G license, and then you can drive as you like. So what happened with me is I got my driver's license in Winnipeg, which doesn't have this graduated whatever. So I had a full license. Then we moved to Toronto, and when I went to the to Service Ontario, or whoever, I can't remember what it's called, they said, yes, you can transfer it over, but I think because I was still a young driver or something, they were like, you still have to take the highway test. But you have 5. So basically they gave me a G2 in exchange for the Winnipeg license. And they said, okay, now you have 5 years to take the highway test. And I put it off until the last possible moment, finally booked my driving test, and then they went on strike. And I was like, oh no, because the thing is, if you let the 5 years lapse, you have to start again from the beginning. Scratch. You have to start from the written test if you don't take the full license test in the 5 years. So I was like, I don't want to start again. So because the thing is, I think between the G2 and the G, there's like you have to wait 9 months before you can take the next test. So it's like minimum 9 months, maximum 5 years. And I was like, I don't want to have to go through all of that again.
Right.
So, but thankfully they said, if you're like, I guess I wasn't the only one in that situation. So they had said, if your like timing for taking your G is affected or impacted by this strike, we will honor that time as we'll just pretend like that time didn't happen. And so if you had taken the test and you would have been fine, then after the strike is over, you can just rebook that test and we won't penalize you for being over the 5 years.
Okay.
So I was like, phew, what a good thing I booked my test before they went on strike. Because if I hadn't booked it before they went on strike, I think I might have had to start over. So
that's a lot.
It's a lot. That's just Ontario. Because Winnipeg, you do the written test, you get your learner's permit, you take a bunch of driving lessons, you do the driving test, you pass, you have a license, and that's it.
Oh, that's kind of like how it's. So in the UK, when you're a learner driver, you don't even learn how to drive on the motorway because
Right.
you're not going to take your test on the motorway. So they expect you
This
to
is
just
true.
pick that up after you've got your license.
This is true.
Which
Now,
is
because
which
when
is
you
why
said that,
which is why
Highway test.
I've been saying in the Discord about how I'm a bit, because
Yeah.
before I passed my test, I was not on the motorway.
Yeah. Did you
I'm
take
never,
did you take lessons on the motorway?
no, you're not allowed to.
No, I mean after you got your license.
Oh, I had a couple test drives with my old instructor, but they were like 10 minutes on the motorway. It was not anything
it's kind of like on, off.
significant. Yeah. And then over the last 2 weekends, I went out driving with my dad for longer periods of time.
Mhm.
Still terrified.
Mm.
I'm gonna do a long solo drive on the motorway tomorrow, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't know.
It'll be
It might
fine.
not happen because a thunderstorm is scheduled, and I'm like, I don't want to drive on the motorway in a thunderstorm with heavy rain. I'm not a
Just
fan
pull
of
over.
that idea.
Just
So
pull over.
we'll see how it goes.
You'll
If
be
it
good.
does
You'll be
rain
Everyone
and
good.
it
forgets
rains,
how to drive when it rains.
yeah, I can't.
And
And the
so
thing is, it's the brake times are it's gonna be harder to brake. You might
yeah.
aquaplane across the road, and
I mean, it's probably not
Okay.
going to be that bad, B.
Thank you.
I'm scared. I'm
That's
scared.
sort of like the extreme sort of scenario.
Yes.
And it's good
That.
to keep that in mind. But what's likely to happen is you slow down, you don't drive as fast, you stop a little bit sooner, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. And that's exactly it.
I
That's
hope so.
exactly it. You'll be fine. You'll be
But,
fine.
but it's very unlikely that you're going to
I'm gonna
hydroplane.
aquaplane.
They teach you that stuff
So
to,
you know,
to scare you straight, basically, right? So you
do
don't
it.
try to
Do them.
The other
drift
thing,
and then like crash into other people's
the
cars.
other worry is that I end up in Wales.
Oh, just direction
I'll
That's
wise.
a
find my
real
way
worry.
back.
That's a real worry.
Yeah.
But all you have to do is turn
You're just
around.
too afraid to get off, so you just stay off the
I'm just
motorway
gonna
Oh,
stay here. I'm not gonna get off.
until the motorway turns into a regular road, and you're just like,
yeah.
oh.
And you run into somebody's house or someone's cul-de-sac.
But
Okay.
today I went on the motorway and I missed a turning. I went around a roundabout twice in the hopes that I would find the right turning, and I still went off on the wrong turning the second time round the roundabout.
There are
And I
experienced
had to
drivers do
drive
that.
for like 2 miles in the wrong direction in order to get back onto the road.
I gotta say, I appreciate you telling these stories, V, because I when I think about driving, it makes me
Mhm.
really anxious, and I think some of that has to do with the way my dad drives and the
Mm.
fact that like in our family, my mom can drive and she drove for many, many years, but she got rid of her car for some reason 4 years ago. So she hasn't driven in a while. But when I'm in the car with my dad, he
Mhm.
drives like a friggin' race car driver, like vroom, vroom. He's safe, but he's very
Yeah.
like aggressive slash defensive when he
Okay.
drives. And it makes me like because he's like, you got to stay, on the highway. He's when there's a lot of traffic, he's like, you have to stay close to the car, don't slow down because other cars are going to cut in front of you. And then, you get this accordion effect, and that's why the traffic's bad. But if everyone stays at the same pace, then every traffic keeps moving. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, I mean, okay, sure. But then I realized, hold on to the seat with my booty
Your
cheeks.
booty cheek.
Pretty much. He doesn't drive too fast. He just drives like his movements are just very like
Very sudden.
aggressive.
Oh.
And I maybe I just feel his energy too is just like really like aggro.
I think
But
generally
when I'm
I'm quite.
with other people, I like just seeing other people drive. It's like, oh, you don't have to do that. You could just chill. And if people cut in front of you, oh
It's
well.
okay.
And if you get there a little bit later, you just leave earlier. And if you drive a little slower, that's fine. So maybe I need to drive by myself more, but I always drive with him in the car, and it's like
No,
I think
I
that's
I always
when
feel like
Mhm.
exhausted afterwards.
I think that's when I saw the most improvement actually after passing my test. When I stopped driving with other people in the car with me, that helped because I think driving with people in the car was actually adding to my anxiety.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because I'd be like, oh my God, I'm gonna kill us all. Ah.
Right?
So yeah.
We're all gonna
I kill
die.
myself because I was driving stupid.
Oh,
That's one thing, but I can't be responsible for somebody else.
this is it. Like, I'm like, fine, take me out, but I don't want to take anyone with me. Like,
I have
I don't want
had
to be
no.
responsible for that.
But yeah.
I think here we have to take you do the theory, but even before we do the theory, go through the driving stuff, we have to take this thing called risk 1 and risk 2. The risk 1, I guess it's more like, they test you on like the body of the car, the tires or this or that and the other thing. And risk 2 is they take you out to like uh I keep saying it's not a race car track, but it's like a car track of some sorts. And they make the conditions like slippery conditions, hydroplane conditions, wet conditions, and they put you in a car. Now I kept thinking, oh my God, they're going to put me in a stick shift and in a manual, you know what I'm talking about, and I'm going to have to do this. But they said, no, we only have automatics. I was like, yes, okay, one less thing to think about. And we have to come up to a certain speed and then hit the brakes and keep our foot down on the brake and just so to have to control ourselves in the wetness or the raininess that they've made. That was pretty cool. I mean, I didn't mind that at all. Like they'd like go up to 80 and then when you get to this point, brake. Okay. And it's not a long, huh?
Did you drift? Did you hydroplane?
A little bit. And it's the point of now keeping control of the car. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I've been in these situations before. Right. I've also been in situations where it didn't matter what I did. I glided right into a car. Not this particular situation, but like, I think it was in the winter. It was in the winter one morning. I was driving my sister to the train and I was turning around, coming back. It was snow. I slowed down like way before the traffic light because I'm like, put. You could have walked with the car, how slow I was moving. And I lightly put my foot on brake, just like, okay, there's a truck in front of me. A van. Let me just, go to the stop. And my car was like, yeah, right. In the back of this. And I was like, ah. Now, mind you, he could care less because I barely hit him, but I hit him enough that my light broke. But nothing happened to the van because it was just like a touch. It was like it was ice underneath. So my little tap on the brake was like, nah, we'll keep going.
Yeah. My mom like gently rear-ended someone once for the same reason. Like she had stopped, but it was icy, and so the car kept going. And so it was funny because I remember my dad being like, Carmen, stop. And she's like, I stopped, the guy, I'm on the brake. And then we just like glided into the car in front of us and just went, doom. And she panicked, but like there was no damage to her car. There was really no damage to the other car, maybe like a little bump, but like nothing broke or whatever. But yeah, it's scary when you've put your foot on the brake and then the car has decided that doesn't matter, or the conditions are like, yeah, nice try, but your car is in motion. It's going to keep going. They're just going to gently deliver you into the back of this other person's car.
I love how you said that. It's going to gently deliver you into the back.
Mm-hmm. The ice is just conveying your cars.
I think if it gets icy over here, I'm just not going to drive.
Well, and that makes sense. Some people just don't drive when the conditions are really bad, and they just take public transit here.
Yeah,
but even sometimes when you pump the brake, it's like, sure, do that. Yeah. Right. But no, but I'm looking actually forward to getting the license and stuff like that. What else has been going on? Whitney, what you been doing? Nothing. Just chilling. That's it.
Nothing's happening here. I just need a new job. That's all.
Yeah, your job is whack.
Your job is double, truly whackety whack. We'll find you a new job. In fact, we're going to give you a whole new business.
Okay. Can I move in with you, Jermaine? No, V. I'm supposed to move in with V. That's right. That's what's happening, right?
Yes. No problem. No problem. I'll just come visit. I'm trying to come visit.
Yes.
I'm trying. Well, like the UK, because I haven't been there since 2019. But let me tell you, y'all got some price problems there.
Mm,
How?
mhm.
Ooh, they left the EU and they were like, well, let's double those prices in those hotels. I
Ooh,
was like, I'm living on the streets if I go to
that,
the UK.
that inflation, though.
Ah, ooh, I'm like, phew. So you might need a job, Whitney, before you get to V.
Mhm.
To do
And the
Whitney.
fuel prices, oh my God.
Yeah, that I was like,
I'm like, I have the smallest engine you could have in my car. It shouldn't cost this much to fill it up. Shouldn't.
but it does, and that's the one thing I don't want. I was like, man, I gotta fill the car.
Smallest
Like,
engine? The smallest gas tank.
Well, the smaller engines, my understanding is over here, smaller engines mean smaller tanks, usually.
Oh,
no, okay.
I don't
I
know if
don't
that's
know.
true or not,
I
but
don't know.
I
I
believe
could
you.
be completely wrong.
Yeah, truly. I believe
But,
you.
Mo, you drive, is that true?
Mo drive and drive and drive. Had that dog hanging out the window, driving and driving. You don't like to drive? No? Oh, you hate it?
I hate it.
Oh,
Oh, we can hear you.
Hate. I had to call in on my phone.
Oh.
It would not cooperate.
oh okay.
But I hate
Well,
to. I am a passenger princess.
you my mama.
I am not.
Then I'm a
So I don't.
passenger queen because I actually don't drive.
Yeah,
The trick,
I prefer.
Mo, don't have a car. If you have a car, people expect you to drive it. If you don't have a car, then you have a reason.
See,
Well,
this is
the problem
Whatever.
is we in Arkansas, our public transit is crap, and I have kids that need to go places, so I have to have. But if I could not have, I tear them up and I break them all the time, and people keep giving me new ones. I don't want it.
Kids or
I
cars?
keep, huh? Cars, not kids. My kids still alive. Thank God. Thank God.
I
Thank
keep
God.
breaking them, but people just keep giving me new ones.
Yes.
I thought, imagine if she was talking about her kids. That would be funny.
I keep breaking them. They just keep giving me new ones. Yeah, but yes, you do need a car there. That's true. I mean, here, I at this point, I figure, okay, once I actually get my license, I'm not really gonna say anything. The only person gonna know how to drive is my husband, and that's it. I can still take the training. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. Special occasions. You could drive just right now. Just,
So V said in the chat, she doesn't really need a car. She survived without one until last November. But now that she has one, she can't imagine not having one. And that's what I'm afraid of. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of getting a car and then feeling like I can't do anything if I, you know what I mean? Like, oh, but parking, and I don't want to have to da 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 da. And it's like, well, you take the subway. It's like, but the public transportation. Oh, no.
See, I think that's the
I don't
thing.
like transit. I like the subway. I like the buses. Like, I like the convenience of like, I just walk up the street and there's a bus stop and then it takes me to the subway. Da, 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 da. But everything takes longer. And some people stink. And some people are just like coughing all over you. And sometimes you look at the seat and you're like, oh, that's a really good seat. Normally nobody's sitting there. You get to the seat and it's like, oh, that's why, because there's something stuck to the seat. Or
Those
you
are
see
the
a whole
special
row
things
of
that
seats that are
happen.
empty from when you're standing on the platform. Then you get on the train and you realize it's because there's someone sleeping, taking up 5 seats, sleeping on the train. And you're like, ah, man.
Your nose was assaulted?
What happened?
Mhm.
You know what? I absolutely agree with that. Assaulted is the word
It's
for it.
offensive. It's
Yeah,
offensive.
it is. It is.
Yesterday, I was at the shops and somebody walked past. My eyes started to water.
Yesterday, same thing. I had someone like that yesterday. They
That's
walked
bad.
by. I was like, excuse me.
It was
That's really
violence.
bad.
I felt like violence was being done to me.
Yes.
No.
I'm like, how do you, don't you get that in? Don't you smell you?
Honestly, I'm surprised I have any nose hair left.
You know what?
There's no.
The heart. I was on the train. It was me and like 2 or 3 of the people sitting in this little area, and these parent or whatever, guardian, whatever, and two little kids came on. The little girl, I don't think she was 9.
No.
She smelled like a full-grown, ain't washed adult.
You know, one of these days, I will be fully persuaded to buy myself a hazmat suit.
See, the way that you were like, no.
It's just,
It's
come
gross.
on.
And she was so young. This chick looked like she was 9.
That's
and she
abuse.
smelled
That's
like
abuse of the child.
it smelled like
That's
a stinky and she sat there to the point where me, the people across from me, we were all looking at each other like, do we hold it? Because you can see all of us were kind of holding our breath. All of us were like, huh.
That makes me angry at her parents.
Yeah.
And then and she's sitting there and she's next to me and I'm thinking, and how this aroma is good.
Because how could you do that to your child? You're sending them to school like that?
I was like, come
To be amongst their peers like that?
And then she they got more seats, so she moved around to the backside. And I'm thinking to myself, why does she even smell like that? She shouldn't even smell like that.
No, it's really
Not at 9.
And it's a child.
Someone should be making sure. I mean, some kids go through puberty early. Like I started my period at 10. My mom started hers at 8. So it's possible that at 9 she's like, you know, sweating for the first time and doesn't know how to like do deodorant and stuff. But that's what the guardians are supposed to be there for, to their parents or whoever, to like, okay, young lady, you are.
Sometimes I feel bad.
You're green right now in Jamaica. Now you smell so green.
You're right.
Because you don't know, obviously, when it's a complete stranger, you don't know what their circumstances are as to why this is happening. But some people, it's like, no. I can see that you know better.
Mm-hmm.
People who are dressed really nice, and everything is like, but then they walk past you and the BO slaps you across the face. Them, I don't understand.
That's right.
I don't understand how they don't smell that.
I have clients.
You don't see the difference?
They get nose blind to it. Because the thing is, if it's that strong, that means it's been ripening and maturing for a very long time.
It means they normally smell like that.
Very long time. Because they can't tell anymore.
When I smell bad, like when I smell funky, I smell it. Like
because you're not used to smelling.
And I'm like, woo,
it's beyond the ripening.
Not something that you're accustomed to.
Yeah.
But I think when you become accustomed to, then you after a while you don't. For me, it would give me a headache. It would actually give me a headache. But
I in my 20 years of massage, I have had clients who have reeked. And I'm telling you that to the point where like you just said, it's almost like they're nose blind. And this is just a natural thing to the point where it's in their clothing, to the point where no matter, even if maybe they did shower and didn't use deodorant, it's in their clothes.
Burn your clothes.
Because this was at the beginning, probably. This is like way at the beginning. And this person she'd come for massaging periodically. And it was a few people, as a man, a couple of men, a couple of women, and they would come. And I'd be like, oh.
Do you think it's internal, maybe?
I think some of it, a few times, I could smell that they have, because it's morning, I can smell that they have showered. I smell it. I can feel it. I can see it on that they have showered. But them pits by 9:15 is just
because some people, like, depending on their bodily composition and their diet and various other things, it can sometimes it's hard to control, even if you do wash. Maybe, I don't know.
But I mean, like those, I can tell. But there are some, it's just like embedded in their clothing.
Just me trying to find reasons to understand.
I am.
Because I don't
try,
understand.
Because this is the closest, I'm thinking to myself, I am getting really, this is, and on my nose, it's just going through all kinds of things. And then, like, I remember vividly in certain places, like, if the person left the room, I have to leave, like, I'm like, okay, let me leave the door open, because the smell lingers in the room. And if the room doesn't have a window.
Questioning yourself.
Yeah.
You know
And
those ones.
huh?
Is
Uh-huh.
it can't be me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
it's
yep. I've run out to the room and gotten like like cloths or tissues with soap to just wipe the board down where maybe their armpits were, so that doesn't like reek up to the next
Do you
person.
anti-bac as well? I hope so.
Yeah, no, I have like the antibacterial wipes and stuff that I have in the room. But it's like I need to get the smell out of here, because one time
It's
I
in the
remember
air. Sometimes
there
I
was
feel like it gets stuck in my nostril hairs.
yeah. That's happened where it
I
gets
keep
stuck and it's
smelling
like,
it.
oh God, okay, this is gross. Okay, okay. Let's go on to pleasant, pretty things. I have a list of pleasant, pretty things. What's my list of? Okay, the things about this year, since we are part of Mr. Stage, the stage crew and stuff, is that Cars is leaving us on August 1st. How do y'all feel about that? Did y'all watch a lot of Cars?
I told Carl that it was going away, and he tried to gaslight me into thinking that I was mistaken and I didn't know what I was talking about. And then look, going away. I must have had a prophetic vision. I must be
You saw it in a dream.
I
saw
told
it in
you
a dream and it came.
Huh?
Carl, I was like, I thought KOS was going away. And you're like, they're not getting rid of the KOSS app. And Carl was like, no, they're not getting rid of it. I was like, I could have sworn they said that the app was going away because people weren't like subscribing enough or whatever. And Carl was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not true. And then lo and behold, now the app is going away.
Oh, you messed up because he sat right there with me in the group when we were talking. It's like, oh, we can have a whole thing. So we're gonna have a memorial on August 1st.
I don't think you
how
said
I feel
that.
about it is I thought it was going away already, and so I'd already like canceled my subscription. So I haven't been using it for the last however many months. I think since November, which is when.
Oh, okay. No, it goes on August 1st.
We'll say that's how long it's been for me too, but it's been long. I just don't watch anything.
Yeah, I haven't. I think I only wanted to. I watched the what is that thing? Black people don't do improv.
Oh, I need to watch that too. Oh,
That's
man.
fun. That's actually kind of fun. I like watching that. It's kind of fun to watch.
I liked some of the shows. Black People Don't Do Improv was really fun. I liked, Derek Kev on Stage and stuff. I liked Angel's show, Crafts and Cocktails.
I never saw them. I'd actually want to see them.
Well, so half of the
wasn't like half of them on her YouTube.
Yeah,
half are on her YouTube, and I think some are. Okay, then I can watch it.
Half are on KOSS and half are on her YouTube page.
Okay.
And maybe
when they can just move the other ones on her YouTube.
I hope they do when the app closes. But there were some shows that I didn't like. Cleo's show. What was that one? The
tasting one, the food one?
One bite rule or whatever it was. I didn't like it, and I'll tell you why. I didn't like it because I thought that as the host, Cleo should have also eaten them.
Oh, so okay.
You know how I won't say that anymore. You just said don't tell anyone. I was just gonna say it out loud. But the 2-bite rule is you bring out some food or whatever, and then the guests, the two people who are guests on the show, are required to
take at least 2 bites.
Take at least 2 bites. And that by itself is not the most interesting model for like a show, or what's the word? Not model, but like it's not the most interesting
content or
like just the way that they did it. Yeah. So like, if it was a competition of some, or if it was like if there was like a punishment for not taking the 2, you know what I mean? It's like, for example, what's his name? James Corden. I don't really like him. However, on his show, he has Fill Your Guts or Spill Your Guts. And it's a table that turns, and there are a bunch of different like gross things to eat.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Cockroaches, pig brain, whatever. And but it's a game where each of them take a turn, him and his guest.
right.
And
I've seen that one.
when it's your turn, you spin first to find out what your thing is, or the other person spins it for you and tells you, okay, this is your thing. Eat that or answer this question. And so
Mhm.
then they ask you a question, or like you decide, like, are you going to eat the thing or are you going to answer the question? And so sometimes they're like, I'm not eating that, ask me the question. And then they ask the question, and then the person has to be like, the question might be something like, the guest might ask James, who was your worst guest? Of all the guests you had on the show, which one did you absolutely hate?
Right.
And then he eats the thing because he's not
Yeah.
going to say that out loud. And
Right.
so it's a more interesting thing because they're both in it.
Yeah.
But with the 2-bite rule with Cleo, he
It's
just sits
just
there and talks to them and then says, all right, taste it. And they're like, I don't want to. And he's like, you gotta. And they're like, you taste it. And he's like, I don't have to. I'm the host of the show. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, but then now it doesn't feel fun. It doesn't feel like personable or whatever. It feels like you're just subjecting your guests to this like unpleasant experience, and they don't get anything out of it.
Yeah.
So, or they don't get any. There's no carrot and there's also no stick. It's just all stick. It's just this gross thing or nothing.
or nothing.
And it's like,
That's really the whole premise of that show?
that's the
Yeah.
show. Like
Yeah.
they have like a chef or a cook who comes out and sort of describes what the food is. And then they talk about it and they just sort of like chit chat and eat. But he doesn't have to eat it.
No.
They sometimes refuse. And I'm like, now you knew the format, that's the word. You knew the format of the show was that you come on here and you eat gross stuff. Like you knew that that's what it was. So how are you now going to come on the show and then say, I'm not eating that? And so I'm like, this is why you got to stop hiring only your friends.
Did they even tell them the full premise, or did they just invite their friends?
I don't know.
I
mean,
feel like they told them the premise because none of them seemed surprised that they were being expected to eat stuff. Yeah, V, I agree with you. I prefer Kev and I prefer his stand-up. I prefer his comedy. That's why I joined the stage crew, is because I think Kev is funny. And I like that watch an episode. Whitney, not all of them are bad, but there were a couple of them where I was just like, it wasn't fun. And it almost seemed like
missing something.
It was missing the funny. It wasn't even drama, because it was just like three friends who gathered. You eat it. No, you eat it. I don't have to eat it. I'm the host of the show, but I don't want it. If you want to get paid, you better eat it. And it's like, I like that Kev brings other people in and he's trying to like, he's trying to pull other people up behind him and with him and stuff. And I think that's great. However, I joined because I think he's funny. I joined because I look like I'm in heaven.
Oh my
you
goodness.
joined because you look like you're in heaven?
No, it's the white light.
It's the white light.
I
know.
I joined for him because I think he's funny.
Yeah.
And some of the other comedians, like I was introduced to Tony Baker through Kev. Tony Baker, hilarious. Yay. CP Kingsley.
CP, yes.
BT
Kingsley. There you go.
CP is funny and BT Kingsley is also funny.
There you go.
My brain said CP Kingsley.
CPT, CPBT.
My brain
Some of them letters.
All them letter people, the people with the letters.
My brain said CP Kingston. And I met BT Kingsley and CP.
And CP, they're both great. I joined as well with that, and I mean I think the other stuff is just the extras, the bonuses, of course, and you can check it out, or you see what you like and what you don't like. But I was like, and it's understandable. I mean, I think it's really cool to see that process, the process that he went through, having his own app and having to go through this process of seeing what he can do with this app and how he developed it and how he tried to keep it going, and realizing, okay, this can't go on anymore, and just saying, okay, we can't do the app anymore, because he worked really hard even when getting it. which is great, and it's surely hard work and a lot of stress. And the things that he's done
I
even after that with the studio and everything else and all the shows he worked on developing, and the stuff that now that's still left over even after Cos goes, the thing like you say, Angelique, the stuff that he's developed already with all these, with all the stage crew and as well as other people who see the other stuff on YouTube, meeting all these other comics and seeing all their work. I mean, that was one of the ways how I when I saw Big Irish J, and then when I went to don't do that if you're not going to share. You're not sharing. No, no, no.
I'm sorry, I don't like those. I like the vanilla Oreos.
So do I. I didn't know they had birthday cake, but then again, they don't sell those here, so
There's a cookie outlet in Toronto, Pete Freen's Cookie Outlet, and I went with a friend. This was $2. This family size birthday cake Oreo thing was $2. But my favorite one actually was the golden Thins lemon.
Oh, delicious.
Golden
so
Thins
good.
Lemon.
I like the Thins better than the regular size too.
The Thins, they don't feel so
too much.
And they go and they crack really easy and really nice, and it's creamy and lemony, and that's my favorite. I ate the whole thing, and then I had birthday cake left, and I was like, well, gotta start.
I do like the peanut butter one.
Peanut butter?
Yeah, the
spice.
ones, the regular chocolate cookie with the peanut butters, I like those. I remember I used to not like Oreos at all, but then randomly a few years ago, probably like 7 or so, I just started trying all the different flavors, and I didn't really like any. I just liked the vanilla and then the peanut butter.
Cherry?
Cherry?
These listing.
I remember seeing the red velvet.
You're listing. I've never heard of cherry, and I probably would never eat it.
Red velvet, cherry,
red velvet.
mint.
If I'm gonna have them, I think I'll just stick with the regular.
Yeah.
I'm not that's a little bit too experimental for me for Oreos.
Actually, double stuff has only one F for some reason.
They're trying to be original.
It must be a copyright thing.
Yeah, probably.
Like they wanted to be able to copyright it, so they put only one F so they could copyright it.
But no, but with yeah, that was the only reason why I liked it, seeing the other comedians. And I got to meet Big Irish J when I was in Tacoma, so that was cool.
Did you know him before?
Only through Cos and seeing him in the stuff and Instagram.
No, but I mean, like, did you talk to him and stuff? Did you have conversations
on
with him?
Instagram?
Now it looks like the two of you like cool.
On Instagram. That's it. Like I'll make a comment.
Slide in the DMs.
Eventually, no. It was like when you have the stories, and you make comments on the stories, and the comment goes into the DM.
That's me too.
Yeah, and and sometimes he would write back or answer back and blah blah blah, or have a conversation, so you have little conversations. And when I went to Tacoma, I thought to myself, I want to see Nate Jackson. That's the first thing I wanted to go to there, because when my stepson and his wife came last year, and I told them about all the comedians, I told them about Nate Jackson's place. They live right nearby, so they went and they saw Tony Baker. And they thought that was really cool because they didn't know anything about Tony Baker until that point. Now they, and then so they go there periodically. So when I went, she wanted me to go. And so I wrote to Big Irish J, because I thought I know he does stuff in Seattle. So I asked, I said, are you going to be doing, I'm in Tacoma. Are you going to be doing any shows here? And he said, I know. I said, I'll be here till I have to leave Saturday. And he said, oh, well, I'm doing a show on Saturday. I was like, oh well. But then what was that, V? And then he wrote saying he was going to be in Enumclaw. That's in the Washington. And he was doing a show called The Dope Show. And he said, oh, come there. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And so Amanda, my daughter, she got tickets for that. And so we drove out to Enumclaw, which wasn't a short ride. It was probably about 45, 50 minutes. And went to this little theater that you had it was in this little theater, the kind you have to like stand on a ladder and put the letters on the thingy, on the marquee.
Cute. Yeah.
And you go inside, it's cute, old, and I'm thinking, oh my God, it's like a movie theater. I'm gonna be like on the, but it's really clean and really nice. And so we sat and we, waited for the thing to start. And it was so cool because I didn't realize he came out the side door and I saw him out the side door, but I figured, he's going to keep going. And he beelined straight over to me. And I thought to myself, oh, how do you know? I said, I'm the only Black woman in here. Of course he would know this is who he was talking to. But he was really cool.
We know he likes Black women.
He got a woman. He got a
like
woman.
A fly in the milk. At least say a piece of chocolate. Damn.
Like a fly in the milk.
You can tell.
Tell me a chocolate chip. Exactly. Thank you, Angelique.
I didn't hear everything you said, Mo, but I feel
Mo?
like I know what you said.
What did you say, Mo?
Oh, I said you can tell he likes Black women. The way he was hugged up, I said, "Oh, her, got it."
That's why I asked. That's why I was asking if you knew him before, because I was like,
No.
"That was a."
No, because that was his, and let me finish. Let me finish that because I did not know that. But he took a picture beforehand. Stop it. He took a picture beforehand.
Yeah, V, exactly.
And because I didn't realize the dope show, I thought like, oh, dope. No, it was 420 weekend. It was dope.
I thought dope was cocaine.
Huh? You thought?
I thought dope was cocaine.
Well, I think
it's weed?
It could be, I guess, whatever you, put in dope. But I'm not put in dope, but whatever you want to put it.
Like,
but
I consume it on a fairly regular basis. I just didn't know it was called dope.
Yeah. So the guy Tyler Smith, this is his show called The Dope Show that he takes around. So and the comedians, the comedians come out the first set and they do it straight. And when they go back, they have to smoke and then come back and do another set. That's the Dope Show. And it was 420 weekend. So, I was like, okay. And he's like,
it would be great if the audience did it too.
Oh, believe me, these folks was drinking enough. You would think they had break, anyway.
Everyone smokes or they take their edibles or whatever.
I'm sure.
And then they do the second half, and then the audience is high and they're high. It'd be such a good time. Everyone would be laughing and no one would know why.
Let me tell you something. They was already laughing and no one knew why. A lot of the people were drunk already after the first set from all the beer drinking and whatever else they were drinking. So he took a picture beforehand. He goes,
I want to go to something like that.
Took a picture beforehand and then we left and they did the show and then he came. I thought he had went to the bathroom. Went downstairs because they were selling shirts and I wanted to get a shirt, but I forgot. But I came out the bathroom and he was standing there waiting. Because he was talking to somebody, he was standing there waiting for me. And so we talked for a while afterward as well. And from a lot of his jokes, so I got to see something like he goes, oh, you want to see so-and-so? And so he shows me this phone about this woman that he had dated and a while back. And we just stood there talking, and it was really, he said, it was so cool that, you're here and blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, it was really, really cool. And all I wanted, because the thing is, I said, cool, I'm coming. All I want is a picture. And he goes, no problem. And so, I'm there. And he goes, oh, let's do a prom picture. Now, I have no idea what a prom picture was because I did not go to prom. So I didn't, the only thing I think of prom with that bamboo chair, and that's the only thing I think of prom. They sitting in the bamboo. And I thought to myself, oh, yeah. And he just went, whoop, and I'm like, is this prom? No problem. And I figured, and he'll be in the picture because he is freaking tall. That man is tall. He looks real good.
Did he know that you're married?
Yeah, you should. I had a ring on. It. And he
lost some weight.
He looked good. He looked really good. He said he felt good. He started dancing and jumping. I said, yo, bro, I may be talking about your knees. You better stop that.
Knees are probably fine.
Mhm.
Because yeah, exactly. That's the big Irish dude. But he's still quite tall.
No,
Maybe
he
he'll
is.
be a
He's like
tall Irish today
6'8".
now.
He's 6'8". Yeah, he's slimmer, but he's still big and really nice, really cool. You know, we had a
I
good
thought
time. I was glad I got to meet him.
so. I was introduced to him as a comedian through Kev on Stage Again,
Mhm.
and Aska I really liked. I thought that was a really good show. I wish they
That's
did
how
more of that
yeah.
on the app and stuff. But they didn't seem to keep that going. I don't know why. Like, with the nice fancy set and the whatever. That would have been
Mhm.
cool if they kept doing that. Because I thought that was really cool. Like when they interviewed Kel Mitchell and they interviewed, all sorts of people.
I thought that was really cool.
And then
Yeah.
I think I followed his YouTube channel and I watched a couple of his videos. And I was like, oh yeah, he's pretty funny. And then when
No,
I
he
saw
is.
your pictures with him, for some people the ring don't mean a thing. That's true. And when he said take a prom picture and you said okay,
I didn't know what like I said,
think
my
he
picture
was
of prom
shooting
was
his-
like the chair thing where one piece of person sitting down and this because I'm like, I have never been to prom. I do not know what you're talking about. And then he just like prom picture and he just like, stood over me. I was like, okay, this is prom.
It's a really
didn't go.
cute picture. Your pictures are really cute. And I didn't recognize him at first. I was like, who that? And then maybe it was the dope. Yeah, maybe it was.
Yeah.
Some people when they're high, they're just a lot more affectionate and a lot more like less like lower inhibitions, right? Like things are not just they're just not such a big deal. Like it's not like he doesn't have control over his behavior, but he probably wasn't thinking this isn't appropriate. I probably, he's probably just like, if you want to, let's take it. And if you don't want to, then, if you had
Because
said
I was judging that as well. Because I was like, okay, because beforehand he was like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I don't think he really did so much back there because of the fact that he doesn't because he always says he doesn't. So I think if he had, the extreme would have been really wicked. You know what?
It's such a cute picture.
Oh.
It's a really cute picture. It's really, really cute. I know y'all can't really see it, but it's an adorable picture. It's adorable.
They look like angels.
I was just happy to be there, and I was glad I got to meet someone that from this atmosphere, from this whole
Universe.
thing. Yeah,
Like,
and then he writes me and I was like, you should get in disco. He goes, yeah, I got to get into that disco. He'd been in stage crew all this time.
Yeah.
And I was like, because he kept saying, because I said I'm gonna post about it, and he goes, oh yeah, tag me in it. And I was like, why should I tag you? You're not gonna see it. And he goes, no, I'm in there, bruh. You don't talk much. He goes, I know, I gotta get in there a little bit more than I should. I was like, all right. I said, okay, cool. But no, he was really nice guy. The show was really cool. All of the comedians.
I just realized it was Righteous and Ratchet.
That was Doughboy though.
What I first encountered, I think.
Kevin on Stage?
Yeah.
Was Righteous and Ratchet? Oh, okay.
So,
I think I got him.
Came across my YouTube whatnot, and then I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I started watching a lot of their episodes, and then I couldn't watch more than one a day because the other co-host is just very loud, and I just found it to be really loud.
Mm-hmm.
But I really
What do
liked
you mean? Somebody's really loud?
Yeah, the other co-host of that show. What's his name?
Bruno?
Oh.
Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Boy, no.
We don't talk about Bruno. True that.
Oh no, it's gonna be stuck in my head, you guys.
I was loud in the sky. I'm sorry, maybe not on. His part was my favorite. His parts.
But it was a
no clouds allowed in the sky.
yay.
Thunder, exactly.
The drama. But it was fun. It was not, I mean, the whole cause group of those extras, like I said, with I learned about him, I think right before he came out of Periscope, because it was just when I was getting into Periscope for another thing. And then he came out of Periscope, and then that's when I started seeing the videos, like the shorts he had and on YouTube and on his on his Facebook. And then from there I just kept following until this stuff happened, which was good. So it's good. He still has, he's made a huge footprint no matter what. He's made a huge footprint in all the work that he's done. And he's still making big old footprints with the two bald brothers. So, I mean.
And then, now he's like solidly friends with Will Smith.
Honey, Will and Martin. I was like, you go ahead with your little dapping up. And that huge compliment for Tony. That was cool.
That was cool. So I don't know if you saw the video that he said was going to self-destruct if you guys are in the Patreon.
Yeah.
So
I looked
so cool because it's like.
Say it again.
Huh?
Sorry, Mr. Say it again. What you just said, the question you asked.
I was asking if you saw the video in the Patreon where he said this video will self-destruct in 24 hours.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm back. I'm with you. Sorry.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
So I thought that video was really, really cool because it was like, like to have someone so famous ask you your opinion and listen, and you're not yet 17. Bro, I would after that, I think I would have collapsed.
No.
After
this
they
is
walked
true.
away,
this is true. I probably would have.
And then the reality of what just happened hit me. I'd have been like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, I probably would have TT just a little bit in my britches, like walking up to read him. Just a little TT would have, yeah.
Would have come out, little peepee.
I love how you talk. Just a little what?
Just a little TT.
TT.
Yeah, just a little TT. Just a tiny bit.
Oh my Lord.
I love listening to Black Americans talk. It's fun, especially from the South. I like how you talk. It just sounds so warm and like not musical exactly, but like I don't know, it's just more interesting to listen to than myself.
You sound fine.
No, I just really like listening to y'all. Speaking of listening to me talk, I got an audiobook gig. Yay!
Yay!
And this one, I didn't even have to audition for. They just offered it to me. They just emailed for like, thanks, Carl. That's very sweet.
Offer only. Come on, offer only.
Yeah, right? So they're like, we know Angelique has done a couple of other audiobooks for Dion Brand, and we loved working with her, and we'd love to have her back if she's interested. Please let us know what her schedule's like for these dates, like this time period. And I did, and then they sent me the book, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Nice that they recognize your work.
I gotta read the book. I gotta read the book, and then I have to read it again and annotate it, and then.
Right.
What's the name of the book? Or can you say yet?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I could ask.
I couldn't say. It's called "What We All Long For," I think.
Okay.
But the two I've already done, I can definitely say, "At the Full and Change of the Moon," and also "In Another Place Not Here." Those are two books by Dion Brand that I either narrated in full or like I co-narrated with another.
I'm sorry, could you say those one more time?
Yeah, you want me to type it?
Yes, please.
I'll type it.
Nice.
At the Full and Change.
See, but Angelique ain't been doing nothing. She's not been doing anything. There's no special stuff.
But I'm saying that just happened. That just happened this week. So like, okay, I've been doing stuff. You want to tell you all the stuff I've been doing? I've been dating.
Have you been dating?
Yeah, like as an active like activity, like a thing. Like I'm
And
trying.
how has it been going?
Oh,
Lots of
I didn't
free
like that
food,
long.
lots of free food. Hold on. It's been good. Most of the dates have been fine. The men have been lovely. No one's been a jerk. One guy was a jerk, but no one's been like a jerk on the date. Um, and yeah,
That's good.
it's been interesting. I've just been sort of like feeling it out and trying to actually meet people in person. So
Mhm. That's
that's
good.
that's been happening.
That's all righty. I'm gonna switch over now. I have lately been interested in watching movies, and well, on the plane, I was watching Yellowstone. Had to stop watching that because I don't know about that one. It was interesting. And I only started watching it because a friend of mine kept saying, "We don't have anything to bond with if you're not going to watch Yellowstone." And I was like, "All right, then we just will bond." But I watched anyway. And huh?
Nothing, sorry.
Say it. Go ahead.
I say white people.
No.
Oh, they're not.
No.
Ah,
No, shut up. Because the white people I know love that show. They are all in head. I mean, it's the talk of my department. I
bet up the child.
Family's a really good
What
show.
show?
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
mad
really
they didn't even go with Bass Reeves, just
Uh-huh.
Yellowstone. I'm sure Yellowstone's a good show. I haven't watched it, so I can't judge it.
You know, it was. I'm sure it is a really good show, and for its premise, just like any other show, like Succession was good, and it's very the popular, but it's it's popular in a particular type of group of people, who are really like, yes, that's my show. Yeah, I can relate to that. I cannot, but it's an interesting little show, and I'm like, okay, fine. What I did get into again was Bridgerton. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh well, let me get into this one, which is also pretty interesting. But then I noticed that a bunch of movies coming out. I think only one of them has come out in the theater, and I think the other ones are already on cable. Now, there's Bad Boys, there's the recent Planet of the Apes, there is Dune, which was, I think, a couple of months, and Beverly Hills Cop 3. Axel Foley. Huh? No, it's coming June or July 3rd.
Probably June 3rd.
It's June or July 3rd. It's one of those. And I think it's going straight to like Max or Netflix.
Netflix original.
And I saw the preview. Yeah. I saw the preview popped up, I think, on Facebook, and I was like, really? Okay, it's how much is this old? Because I thought to myself, okay, they because he is old as Bruce Willis, or well, no, he's younger than Bruce, but he's still up there. I thought even Danny Glover knew when to stop. I was like, okay, Eddie, go ahead, dude, go for it, do it. As well as the other actors that were in it from the first and the second, both of them are there, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be interesting. But the one I really want to see, huh?
No, I'm sorry.
The one I really want to see is the Planet of the Apes one. I don't know why.
Empire, the whatever. Jermaine is July 3rd.
Huh? It is July 3rd. Yeah.
Yes.
So what my question is, out of Bad Boys, Planet of the Apes, Axel Foley, and Dune, any of you seen any of them, and which one would you choose to see first? If you had to.
I would do Bad Boys.
What are the choices again?
Bad Boys 3, It's the third, right?
Four?
Or is it four? Is it
4.
the
I think
latest
it's
one?
four.
So it's
Yeah.
okay. Bad Boys 4.
It's funny, they even did a video, and Kev and Tony had talked about it on their Ball Brothers episode they recorded at the end of all the recording, I want to say Thursday or Wednesday. Martin and Will was like, yeah, we know this one should have been called Bad Boys for Life. He's like, but we didn't know we were going to make another one, but next time, whatever. So yeah, they at least they know that, it's confusing now to call the third one Bad Boys for Life, because they could have did the number 4 thing that they love to do in movies.
I'm reading V's stuff. I was like, okay, she's pretty much narrowing this down.
So Bad Boys 4, or
Bad Boys 4, the Empire of the Planet of the Apes, I guess it's called. Axel Foley, Beverly Hills Cop 3, and Dune 2.
I've only seen Dune out of
was
those
this one before
options.
Dune 2?
And I like Dune because I've read the book.
Oh, okay. Beverly Hills Cop 3.
But I don't like any of those.
Beverly Hills
I
Cop.
won't watch them.
No.
Probably Bad Boys for me because I haven't seen Dune. I have only seen the first of the Planet of the Apes movies, even though this one starts off with a new trilogy. Like they finished Caesar's story, and so this one is supposed to be like
Caesar's son.
Yeah, like years later.
Mm-hmm.
Which is slightly irritating because I've heard people's like, well, I don't care about these people. And it's just like, well, you didn't care about Caesar at first. You had to watch the movie to get to know him. And for some reason, people act like, well, in this first movie, I want to feel the exact same way that I felt watching 3 movies of this other person. I've never seen any Bad Boys movies.
No comment.
I'm very cautious about the Beverly Hills Cop movie because the last one wasn't good, and also the last Eddie Murphy. Hold on, Daniel. The last Eddie Murphy movie that he did a sequel to after a long time was that horrible Coming to America sequel that he did.
Yeah, well, that
You like that one?
that took a lot.
It was so much that bothered me with that was just like, hey, Leslie Jones sexually assaulted Eddie Murphy, and it's funny. And and then I'm supposed to care about his son hooking up with this hairdresser who they have really no real connection with. The best part for me was the dad, the little joke with him. Wesley Snipes was funny. And it's like they just completely marginalized his wife in the movie, which was like the whole point of the first movie. And she like barely had any role or any character in the sequel. And it seemed like his character regressed. It's like he literally defied his father and went to another country to find somebody in the first movie just to get back home. And he's just like, I won't say a man child, but I don't know. There was just a lot I didn't like about it.
You took that movie to heart, bro.
All said it. This movie wasn't good. And let me tell you all the ways it wasn't good. I would see Dune 2 and maybe what was maybe Planet of the Apes. Dune 2 and Planet of the Apes. Because I saw Dune. I haven't read the books, but I saw the first Dune, so I liked it. I'd watch the second one.
The first Dune or this last first Dune?
The first one with Zendaya. I watched that one.
Okay.
So I would watch this one, which is the second one with Zendaya.
Okay. Because there was like there was one before. There was a I don't know what year it was. When? Hey.
The other one came out.
I think that one because Sting was in it.
Yeah. There was
Yeah.
one that came, and there was a television series as well with James McAvoy as Paul Atreides as well.
Yeah, because I remember that one, and I
So
I didn't understand it then. The Dune,
It's
The-
hard to follow.
Yeah. but this time I understood it better. The recent one that they just did. I'm like, oh, okay,
because they
now.
cut a lot out. That's why.
Okay,
It's still
thank
good
you,
though.
thank you. But yeah, I think I'd rather see. I think I want to see Planet of the Apes because I think as I've seen them all, like by default, like if I'm looking at something, I was like, okay, fine, let me watch Planet of the Apes. This is like nothing on, and it might put me to sleep, but they've never actually put me to sleep. I've never seen any in the theater. I've usually seen it on cable, and they've actually been fairly interesting to see. So
I don't like cops.
you don't
So-
like cops?
So I
Period.
I don't-
Period.
He said, period.
So
No, that was just her whole sentence. She doesn't like cops. That's period. That's the
and I feel weird. So I didn't question it from like movies that make, you know, that like not humanize, but that kind of romanticize and glamorize being a police officer. When we see what police officers are doing now, I'm kind of like, and the fact that some of those police officers, some of the ones that go the hardest are Black, I'm like, Beverly Hills Cop 3 in this climate, come on. Unless we get some twist and Eddie Murphy's character quits.
Who
That's not likely
knows?
to happen.
Mo?
Oh, I am a Bad Boys girl through and through. Bad Boys 2, I've probably seen more than any other. No, Lion King. I've seen more than any other movie. But Bad Boys 2 is a close second. Because it used to come like on cable all the time, and every time I saw that movie on, I would watch it. I know, even though 3 wasn't great, 4 is not gonna be great. But just for the nostalgia of it being Will Smith and Martin again, I'm not gonna spend my money, but I will watch it when it comes out.
You're not gonna spend.
No, I'm not. But I'm gonna watch it.
She gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna spend my
Whitney,
money,
what you
but I'm
gonna do?
watch
I have no interest in seeing any of these movies.
But
There
if
was
you
a
had
thing
to,
in there was a thing in the Discord a few years ago, back whenever DJ Squid was still a person.
Mm,
I used to say that I never really I'm just saying that I never really watched the Bad Boys movies, and they were Carl and Squid, they were like so offended that I hadn't watched. And then they're like, you have to watch 1 and 2, and this was before 3. I don't even remember when 3 came out. But I was just like, I still don't care about the movie series. I think I probably saw like 20 minutes of one of the older Planet of the Apes movies. I've never watched Beverly Hills Cops. I've heard people talk about Dune in the last few years, but then it's just like maybe Dune, but like, because that's the one that I know nothing about, and I can go in there blindly and see if I could enjoy it.
cool. Actually, I want to see. They have actually a couple of movies coming out now. One movie came out now, Wonka, with Timothée Chalamet and
I know that
Wicked
man.
What did
Wicked.
you call him?
Timothée.
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 Timothée Chalamet.
Timothée. Sorry, Timothée. Timothée.
Oh, I thought it was Timothy.
It is Timothy. It's Timothée.
This. He got
I
the
thought it
this.
was Timothée because they
It's
spelled it the
Timothée.
French way.
Mm.
Now, Timothy.
It's
I don't know.
He
Timothy.
said his name. You gonna tell this man he pronounces his name wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, and he did Wonka. Now Wonka, I happened to watch. It was because I like Willy Wonka. I like the first Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder, even though, Grandpa, that was kind of sus. You was laying up in that bed 40, 50 years, and all of a sudden, home got a golden ticket. Your knees working again. But I'm like, okay, that was in the script, and then they made
It was in the book.
it was in the script. Willy Wonka gives me the creeps. Which one though? No, and the one with Johnny Depp. I'm like, from Gene Wilder to Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp just made. He was at a place that everything was dark. See, he even made Willy Wonka dark, and I didn't. I couldn't appreciate it, even if he did have a horrible childhood background. They didn't have to do that to him.
I don't even know if I saw his version.
Yeah, nah. But now the one that called Wonka that Timothy has done, it actually reminds me.
Stop. Make new things.
It actually reminds me of the first. If he reminds me of Gene Wilder's character, younger, but it's a different story. Each thing about it, each of the stories, except for Johnny Depp's, this story is different from both of those stories when it comes to Wonka.
This one is a prequel.
Yeah. And it was actually pretty cool. A lot of singing. Yeah, it's like the prequel to him getting the factory.
That looks so disgusted, especially with me. She's just like, ugh.
She did. Prequel. Like Star Wars.
Are they going to show him how he kidnapped the Oompa Loompas?
No.
He didn't enslave them like in the books.
Yeah.
So y'all were never freaked out by Willy Wonka, like the first one? Nobody else ever gave you the creeps? Like it would come on and you'd be like,
oh no, the Oompa Loompas were pretty creepy.
Like you would be creeped out by him because he was.
The Oompa Loompas are Willy Wonka specifically.
huh?
Willy.
Who or what specifically creeped you out, Mo?
Everything, all of it.
I was going to say the flying monkeys, but that's Wizard of Oz.
That was the Wizard of Oz.
Listen, Wizard of Oz gives me the creeps too. Wizard of Oz, The Wiz, Willy Wonka, James and the Giant Peach, all those they're like in the same
James and the
category.
Giant Peach? Did you say James and the Giant Peach?
Yes, that is terrifying.
That was the book by the same author, wasn't it?
They're creepy. Put it in the. It's not supposed to be creepy, but that stuff is creepy. Put it in the creepy pile. Gives me the willies.
I think I understand what you mean, Mo. There's definitely like a chill. Like it gives you a bit of a. But I like that feeling. That like the thing running down your back or whatever. But Willy Wonka specifically, yeah, kind of. Like I remember whenever Gene Wilder is like, whenever he would talk like this, then I'm like, it's a little unsettling. But then when what's her name is doing something that's gonna hurt, he's like, no, please stop.
Yeah, no, please stop, don't.
I liked the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Gene Wilder. The one with Johnny Depp was creepy.
Yes.
But I liked it well enough. I don't really remember it much. His teeth were the worst part of it for me. The super white.
Yeah. Because his father was a dentist, foolishness.
Yeah, it's just weird. And then, yeah, I don't know. I may watch Wonka if it's like on Disney Plus, which I don't pay for. I'm mooching off of a friend. I'll watch it if it's on there.
Hey, if not you, who?
The Big Friendly Giant. That was Roald Dahl, right? That was good.
That was good. I like that one.
I liked the movie.
BFG.
The BFG.
Was that CGI or was that like mixed with live action?
I think it was I don't remember now. Damn. The Witches, yeah, that was creepy.
The Witches.
I think I saw the original as well.
Octavia Spencer.
One with Octavia Spencer is good, and like Anne Hathaway and whatnot. That was good.
It's
But
not
you didn't
close
like
enough to
it?
the book. The
It's
original
not.
version is better.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't. Who's in the original? I'm not
I
familiar.
can't even remember the actors. Oh, Angelica Houston.
Yeah.
Angelica Houston was the witch.
She always plays a good witch.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. She was made for that.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many movies with witches in the title.
Stupid. The movie is called Witches.
The Witches.
The Witches.
Yeah, okay.
I'm trying to remember if I even saw The
The
Witches.
2020 version, but you said that one sucked.
I didn't think it sucked. I liked it.
I don't think I saw it.
Oh, okay.
Well, who was
Hold
in
on,
it? Who's in it?
Oh, she was in Addams Family.
Yes.
Yes,
Played
Angelica Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
I
who
also
else?
love the Addams Family.
The guy who played Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson.
Oh, okay, Rowan Atkinson. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Bill Patterson. I don't know. Okay.
Was it just one witch?
No, there were a bunch of them.
Okay.
It's called The Witches.
I know, but he was naming, Mr. Bean and everybody else, and I was like, were they witches?
Well, Angelica Houston's character, I think, was like the head witch.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, the main witch.
The main witch. I gotta check that out. I must check that out. Now we're going on to unreal, real. I'm done with it. I had people at some of my jobs were just talking about the Drake stuff, and I'm thinking, how do you all know about the Drake stuff? Y'all listen to Drake stuff? I'm like, okay. And like, have you been listening? No, I have not.
Yes, we hear Bella talking a little bit.
Stop scratching on the door. Oh, that's Bella? Okay. Anyway, I have to go because I have to sleep and eat. And I always love coming here and chatting with you all.
You must.
I will see you later.
Later.
Bye.
And now they're of course here in the news talking about Mr. PD, and I'm like, and you know how when things like this occur, and so people come to you because they figure because
no
I'm
one
looking at them not there. Not there. Just like when Obama won, they were all like, congratulations. Look, I don't get no paycheck. I get no paycheck.
Congratulations.
So, yeah.
What are you?
Seriously.
That is.
So now with all this, P. Diddy stuff, it's like, oh my gosh, it's so horrible what's happening to P. Diddy. No, it ain't. It absolutely is not horrible. He is getting exactly what he deserves.
I was gonna say it's not horrible enough.
Think about it.
It's not horrible enough. He still has his liberty. He still has his freedom.
Mm-hmm.
He's suffered no consequences so far.
Yeah. And they're like, no, I just mean like the situation. What do you mean the situation? You need to be more specific. You started off by saying P. Diddy. What part of the situation for him is so terrible?
Nothing.
And it's folks trying to find something to say and just not doing it right at all.
Trying to relate to your blackness, Jermaine. They're trying to let you know they're an ally. Let them be an ally.
Okay. It was sad either way. It was just sad.
I still think that congratulations.
That's hilarious.
Honey, when Obama won, got on the train, people congratulations. And I'm looking at like, at first I'm like, what do you don't even know me. What are you talking about? Your president, come to I live here. He ain't my president.
I mean, he's your president, sort of. You're still a citizen, no?
Yeah, but I live here. So nothing he does affected me here. Well, indirectly probably, but not really. But yeah, so
you got all those lovely congratulations.
This is true. Yeah, we just wondered what happened when after that. But yeah, with yeah, it's just like ridiculous, you know. Oh, this different video, and I'm like, and my mind is like wanting the news to stop talking about it. You cannot analyze this because you're not doing it right. You're trying to do it as if it's like a comic book, you know. The situation. No. There's a case. There are cases. The state, the cases. There's state versus. Yeah, this is not a situation. I'm like, oh, you people, okay, fine, whatever, you know.
I was gonna make a comparison, but I think we're trying to keep it sort of light here, right?
Now I want to know. You can't start it, and I want to know now.
I'm sorry, I have to keep it light. I'm not gonna say I didn't want to.
Can you put
it
in the chat?
Okay, it was the voice.
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
I'll hear the voice in my head. You just type.
You better speak. Oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because they're doing that too. They're doing that
right.
too.
What is it, like the youth? Yeah, like a euphemism almost.
Euphemism, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Like you're trying to glaze over and making it real soft and cute and palatable and nice. No, sis,
it is uncomfortable. It is disgusting. It is very unladylike.
Call it what it is.
If nothing else. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. So I won an award, right? I won this award. Really? And I was at the awards ceremony, and I got stuck at a table.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I thought the internet had gone funny just then. I was like,
all of us were like,
lost connection.
Are we all frozen, or is it just actually?
It's storming here. I thought it was me. I was like, oh, did I freeze?
All of us were like,
sorry. You know when you start to tell a story and then you question if you should be telling the story.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Can you change names and situations to make it to where you can tell the story?
Okay, so I was at a completely different event. I was at a bingo night. I was at a bingo night. And I was invited to this bingo night by a bunch of people that I know, but I ended up getting stuck at a table of people I didn't know. And I didn't know anybody else at this table, not a single person. At every other table, there would have been at least one person I knew. But at the one table that I was at, I didn't know anybody. And they were all older.
Arkansas people.
2025 women?
Mm-hmm. No.
2520, sorry, 2520.
Mm-hmm.
Women. And it was fine at first because, you know, you sit down, you say, hey, how's everybody doing? And, you know, we had some food and we were just, you know, chit-chatting. And then one of them asks the question, asks me specifically, or she says, you know, the Y2Kers or
Right.
the millennials or whatever, you know, they really like vintage stuff now. And I thought she was joking on purpose. I thought she was deliberately doing that to get a laugh. So I laughed because that's funny when an old lady says, the Y2Kers or the millennials or whoever. So I laughed and I laughed a lot. And then she kept talking and then she's like, wait, why are you laughing? Because nobody else is laughing. And I was like, oh, because you said Y2Kers. And then she's like, and I was like, oh, she didn't mean to. She didn't think that was it. Oh, whoops. Anyway, I explained why I laughed, and then everybody laughed, and it was fine. But I was just like, I was like, so the generation is millennials, but you said Y2Kers, and Y2K is just the year 2000. So I thought you were doing that on purpose. I just thought that was funny. And then she goes on to ask me what I think. She's like, what do you think about Gen Z and millennials and da, 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 da. And I think we were talking about like the workplace. And so I was just giving my opinion on how I think, you know, there's value in all of the generations. And I also think it's really interesting, like what Gen X seems to value in the workplace versus millennials versus Gen Z. And we talked about that a little, and that was fine. And then she, same woman, starts complaining out of what I think is nowhere about cancel culture. At which point I'm like, oh God.
Oh my God.
So they're all talking about, you know, someone says something and there are other women at the table who are like, cancel culture. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Because all of these women are capital OLDS. And and some of them are like, what is cancel culture? What do you mean? And I wish she had let me explain it, but she didn't because she's the one who brought it up. She's like, well, you know, someone who said something bad when 14 years ago when he was a teenager loses his job for no reason. And I'm like, well, it's never for no reason. And she's like, I mean, I guess so, but it's just, and so I sort of I kept trying to be like, well, if you consider it this way, da, 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 da. Well, you know, think about it like that. Well, you know, it's not ever da, 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 da. And then another woman pipes in, you know, like, I don't think they should have to apologize. If you said something 14 years ago or when you were 14 years old and you're not that person anymore, I don't think you should be made to apologize. And I said, well, the things that they said were probably quite harmful. And there's no way for us to know if they're still that person unless they prove it. And if they've done nothing to show that they're not that person anymore, and they never apologized and they never made atonement or nothing like that, then there's nothing showing me that this person has changed. And now they're trying to get my money or my attention or my affection or whatever, then that's a problem. And I gave an example. I was like, you know, if there's a man who is selling clothes or shoes or something, and he's a white man and he's using Black people in his advertising to try to and like hip hop music in his ads to try to appeal to a particular demographic. And then we find out that 2, 5, 10 years ago, he called a Black woman an N-word, B-word. And now he's trying to get my money. That's disgusting. He never apologized. He was never held accountable for that. I think that's gross. And I would never spend my money there. And she's like, okay, yeah, but you don't have to spend your money there. And then she kind of cut me off and kept going because I would have then said, and I would tell everybody else about it so that if they believed like me, they would also not spend their money there. That's not cancel culture. That's just holding people accountable. And the people who complain about cancel culture the most are celebrities who aren't canceled at all. They're just fine. The people who lose exactly, that's just the consequences of your actions. And most of them, all publicity is good publicity, and they're still rich and they're still selling out theaters like Louis C.K., for example. So they're not hurting for all of this. In fact, they're doing even better, maybe, because now more people are talking about them than before. The people who lose their jobs, it's not because of something they said 14 years ago. It will always be because of something they said yesterday. You know what I mean? Or something that they repeatedly say, or something that they stand 10 toes deep down on, or whatever the expression is. Sorry. You know, and they're like, you know, they said the thing and then people tried to correct them. And then they were like, I said what I said, basically. Those are the people who are losing their jobs. No one's losing their job for no reason. And at the end of the day, if a company, and I'm trying to say sort of like, if a company is made aware of an employee's behavior, and that company knows that they will become associated with that behavior if they don't let that employee go, then it makes sense that they would let the employee go. That employee lost their own job. But these are women who are like very, you know, like what I do in my private time shouldn't affect my job. And I'm like, this tells me a lot about the shit, because they're like, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And I'm like, I have never been racist. And if I have find out that I made a joke or a tweet that was racist, I would apologize for that. I would take it down, probably. I would apologize for it. I would say, I said this, this is not who I am. I don't believe this anymore. And if someone who wanted to hold me accountable, I would let myself be held accountable. I would hold myself accountable. But then they're like, which one of us hasn't said made a mistake? And I'm like, and then they're talking about, and everybody has an opinion now. Everybody's opinion is equal now. And they seem to have a problem with that. They're like, it used to be that, you had to be like an analyst or a political analyst or some kind of, whatever with a degree, and now everyone has the megahorn, everyone has the bullhorn, and everyone can say whatever they want. And, the comment section is just as powerful as the article itself. And I'm like, I kind of like that. I just straight up said, I was like, I like that though, because I didn't get to say all of the things I wanted to say because there were a lot of women talking, and two of them in particular kept sort of cutting me off. But I was just like, yeah, more people and one of them was basically saying, I don't think everyone should be able to say, to be able to like have the megaphone. And I thought to myself, I agree with that sentence, but who you think should have the megaphone and who I think should have the megaphone, or who you think shouldn't have the megaphone and who I think shouldn't have the megaphone, probably not the same people. So I didn't say that, but I very much thought it. And anyway, the conversation died down because the programming changed and it was sort of like time to do something else. But tell me why the woman who brought this whole conversation to the table, while someone was speaking, her phone rings loud. And it was old-timey jazz music, like black jazz, but like the recording was old-timey recording. Like you knew that was a recording from back when Ella Fitzgerald was allowed to sing in the club but couldn't go in through the front door and couldn't eat there. That kind of old-timey recording, like the quality of the recording was that was her ringtone. And I said, I bet you she has a Sambo in her house. I bet you. That's been handed down from generation to generation. I bet you. Some of these old white ladies, they have the most disturbing artwork in their homes. And it's just like, they don't know any black people. They've never let them in their home. Because if they had, they would maybe those black people would just disappear from their lives or disappear from society. But it was giving Get Out. It was giving but I had a good time.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you won an award.
At the bingo hall?
At the bingo hall.
Yeah.
You got bingo.
At the bingo hall. And the gift was free food. I got free food. That was
Free
good.
food is good.
And yeah.
Oh, well.
I think sometimes you explain it like it's just in a sense capitalism. If I don't want to spend my money with you, there's other options to go spend your money with. I don't see why it's such a hard concept for people to understand.
It's very hard because
I
they
don't
don't.
want to spend my money. I want to let other people who look like me know that this is a thing that happened, because they may not know, and they may not want to spend their money with them either.
Right.
So
right.
Right.
I feel like that's like, I don't understand why it's a big deal now, because I feel like that's how it's always been. If I go to a shop and I'm telling you those people follow black people around in the store, don't go over there. that's not new cancel culture. That's just don't shop with them because they're trifling. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Don't spend your. That's always been a thing, and just because it's on a bigger platform, everybody's like, oh my girl, we always did that.
Yeah.
They don't put enough meat on your sandwich over here. Don't buy your sandwich over. Go to the Subway up there because they're the one that gonna hook you up.
Right.
Same concept.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
a big deal, homie.
You let people know what's going on. They can make their own decisions, right? Like if someone said, oh, this guy called a Black woman an N-word, B-word last year and would never apologize and in fact got promoted, and the rest of society said, then that wouldn't be cancel culture, would it? Right? Because if nobody else cared and no one did anything about it, oh well.
Right.
But what happens is you tell people that, and there are people who are like, that's unconscionable, that's disgusting, that's not okay. And then there are people who take it a step further and beyond just, I'm not going to spend my money here, but also you shouldn't be profiting off of us. So we're going to let your company know this is how we feel.
Yeah.
And now if you keep this person on staff, this is how we feel about your company and not just this person. Just so you know, you have a member of staff who's openly racist or sexist or some other bigoted thing. And the company is the one that decides we're going to stick beside them or you got to go. Because sometimes they do. Sometimes they're like, we've spoken with our employee, this is not the person that they are, despite what the internet says. And we've decided that we're going to support them and we're going to, continue working with them to provide the best, blah, 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 whatever buzzwords, right? Sometimes that happens, not as often, but it does happen.
Yeah.
Where the company makes a decision. They're like, we're not going to fire them for this. And then sometimes the company is like, that's not what we stand for. We don't want anyone working here who stands for that. So they are no longer a member of our staff. And some people see that as cancel culture, but it's like,
no, that's far from it.
You said the thing though, right? Like you said the thing and you did the thing. And maybe you think that you shouldn't ever experience consequences, but like in an era of social media where actually it's not even social media, it's marketing. Marketing has always been this way.
Mm-hmm.
If everyone knew that you were associated with something that you didn't want tied to your identity, you would cut ties. That's just good business. If you don't want people to think that you're a Nazi supporting company, and then you find out that one of your employees is a Nazi, you're going to fire the employee for not, like there's always going to be something in your contract about aligning with, company values and whatever.
Yeah.
And in Canada, you can be terminated without cause. They might just be like, we've decided to let you go without cause. Termination without cause. You get 2 weeks pay, goodbye. Right? They can always do that.
Mm.
Your internet is dying, Whitney? Or internet in general? I don't understand.
Both. But
it was jumpy for a minute.
But we're rounding it out anyway. We can continue this on as well. But I want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening to our jibber jabber here. Again, have a wonderful, pleasant, not too warm spring, because it's getting warm out there. And I don't know how warm it is in Arkansas or in Canada, but it's it's 24, 25 here, and it's in May.
Yeah,
it's very unusual.
This week it went up to like 28, 29 Celsius, which would be hot.
Yeah, exactly. Hot.
like 90 or so Fahrenheit, somewhere around there.
Yeah, we've been at 90 in Arkansas already.
But it's rainy today here in Toronto, so it's a lot cooler. But it's still like 20 something.
Yeah.
We're trying to get on Monday. Because
what?
Oh, trying to get in the pool on Monday.
All right then.
That's fun.
Y'all go in that pool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're trying yet. But everyone have a great afternoon and evening. I'm trying to cover all the time zones right now. And we'll see y'all again on Zoom and Comfort. Ciao.